Hello, everyone. My name is Krista Carr, and I'm the Executive Vice President of the Canadian Association for Community Living. CACL is a national federation with 13 provincial territorial associations and over 300 local associations across the country from coast to coast that exist to support people with an intellectual disability and their families to live fully inclusive lives in their communities. Right now, people with an intellectual disability and their families, along with many other Canadians, are struggling very much as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of the inequities, discrimination, and injustices that have existed in our society for a long time have only been made far more prevalent at this time of very difficult circumstances for everybody. And we've received a lot of questions about what it is that CACL is doing to support our constituency at this very difficult time. So we thought it might be helpful if we did a little video series. So we'll release a new video every Friday in May that attempts to talk about some of the things that CACL is doing to support people with an intellectual disability and their families during this pandemic. The first thing we did as this pandemic was evolving was ensure that we had a page on our website dedicated for up-to-date, useful, reliable resources for families and individuals with an intellectual disability to access so they could have information, resources, and support that they could rely on as they were navigating through this very unprecedented time that we're all in. We continue to update that regularly and really would encourage everybody to check out www.cacl.ca to have a look at what's available on that page. We've received tons of emails from the community, and we doing our very, very best to respond to those and to get people the information that they're looking for. We've designated a staff person to try to make that themselves as aware as possible of all the federal benefits that are being rolled out across the country and how those are changing and evolving, and having the most up-to-date information so that when we get questions about eligibility criteria or what's available, that we're well-versed and able to answer those questions or get answers to the questions that people are asking. We have a COVID disability hashtag, so it's hashtag COVID disability, that we're using to curate content on social media so that we can get the best information out to our constituency. We are also widely aware that people are hurting, they're struggling, they are in crisis in many places right across the country. The injustice and inequity that exists is unprecedented. People are afraid. Hospitalization policies are terrorizing people, not being able to visit people who live in congregate settings, in their homes of their own, not being able to be with loved ones, triage policies that are being rolled out across the country that are exclusionary to people with disabilities. All of these things and many others put people at great risk. Families are struggling to try to work from home, and activities are canceled. School is canceled. We hear you. We see you. We know there are so many issues right now. Mental health supports is another huge issue. Not being able to access support services that are needed. Losing access to support workers not having proper equipment or training, behavioral issues that are coming to the fore because individuals can't get out and can't do their regular routines and don't understand why school's canceled. The list goes on and on. And what I want you to know the most is that we are having weekly calls with our provincial territorial member associations and getting up to the minute responses from the calls we're getting and the emails we're getting to all of the information that's coming from our provincial territorials. And we're doing our very, very best to make sure that the situations that are being faced are being represented to the appropriate levels of government so that we can get some supports in place and change to happen. And our next video, next Friday, We'll focus on the efforts that we've been making around advocacy at the federal level to ensure that the individuals and families that we're supporting, as well as other people with disabilities across the country, are getting the supports and services and the treatment with dignity and equality that they deserve at this very difficult time. So stay tuned for next week's episode. And in the meantime, feel free to reach out if there's anything we can do to help. Thank you.